So first of all, thank you for coming to listen to the session. So I, along with my colleague here, Manoj, will talk to you a little bit about one of our use cases, which is live today. So we will talk to you about our Black Friday use case, and the timing couldn't be better, given that we have an high impact period in the next couple of weeks or so. Before we do so, it is my intention to talk to you about our journey within SAP, of how we have got to where we are today with some of our live use cases that are impacting our customers. So we started our journey about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we started to talk about data. And I think many of us, when we look at AI, we're always very, very worried about data. And the reason that we talk about data so much, I'm actually not quite so sure. Because when we talk about the data, and I think there are two areas where we talk about AI. We talk about zero-shot reasoning within the AI processes, which allows us to have responses to certain situations. But then we also have more agentic scenarios, which is where we put more intelligence, which requires more training, which requires more data. So that's the journey that we've been on. We're fortunate we started that 5 years ago, so we are now able to have truly agentic use cases. But the actual answer is we need to start somewhere. Today, we look at it in the marketplace, and it's clear in the workplace, there are 365 users, 365 individuals who are using AI use cases every day. On a day-to-day basis, 66% of the global population is using AI in some format or another, whether they know it or not. So it's very, very critical that we get on board with this kind of a scenario. And we have three main areas in which we can look at AI use cases. So when SAP started the AI use cases, we were very much talking about efficiency and effectiveness. How do we make individuals more effective in what they're doing today? But what does that mean? That means that we're giving people effort, but we're just making that effort incrementally less loaded. What we now at SAP are really, really focusing on is two major pillars, which is to say, how do we bring better efficiency and effectiveness in the execution of business processes that our customers are seeing today? And that is exactly the use case that Manoj is going to talk to you about. Because that's the last pillar. The last pillar is how do we make AI invisible? Because invisible AI is really what we're all striving to achieve within the use cases that we have, because that's the true value, ultimately, that we see in our industry area of the AI use cases. So when we look at different industry areas, if I look at the healthcare industry, 92% of surgical procedures have AI use cases associated to them to make them really work clearly, effectively, and drive the value that we have in such a critical space. But then at the same time, only 49% of the population today, when we poll users, 49% trust the consumption of the AI that we have in place today. So I think we need to be very, very clear in what is the use case that we're using for these particular areas. So when we look at invisible support, we need to be able to trust the decisions that are being made by the agentic scenario. So we have agents that go out there and detect what is required. We have then built the agentic scenarios on the back end to make that seamlessly delivered, so that ultimately all we're seeing is an efficient use case or an efficient execution of a business process. And that is the power of the applications of SAP in how we are delivering it. Empowered support is what I talked about. This is AI-driven support where we're recommending something to you. So there is still an effort. We still have a user intervention. Because for us, when we talk about AI intervention, it's not about eradicating the need for humans at all. What we're trying to do, and our use case, whether it's internal with our own employee community, or whether it be with our customers, is to drive a better quality of outcome through the AI use cases that we are delivering every day, and one of which you're hearing about literally probably in about 30 seconds. But ultimately what we're trying to do, if we look at our roadmap at SAP, it's about creating space for quality. So what we're trying to do to become the enablement organization that is required to support consumption and business process It is for us about driving the space for quality so that we can evolve our people to add more value to every interaction that we have with our customers. And I think the perfect example is what Manoj is going to present to you now. So we're headed in 3 areas, which is the invisible support, as I've spoken about, empowering humans, but also then assisting. And each one of those has a different level and layer of data required to make it effective. So Manoj, can you just come and show the amazing use case that you have developed with your team around Black Friday?
So thanks, Rohan. What we'll talk about is how we secure Black Friday and Cyber Monday for our retailers. And we are just sitting there, right? So it starts tomorrow, and for the next 6-7 days, we'll see the magic happens. So what we do is, with the help of invisible support, we provide an extra layer of safeguarding for our customers. The idea is to have 100% uptime and 0 degradation throughout the event. And why is it important? Because these are the 6 most important days for most of our retailers throughout the year. So what we do, why we call it invisible support? Because this is not visible to you. We take care of everything which happens in the background with the help of AI, agentic AI, and intelligent automation. So we call it preventive care for our customers. In the back end, we have a system of AI and agentic AI, which is working in the background, looking at what's happening in your system. It takes care of your environment. It looks at the system health. It takes care of the event and the support history, because we have all the data from all the customers from the past. These agents then create something called a preventive risk mitigation report, which categorizes what kind of potential issues can come during those peak hours. So these are the issues which we are trying to predict even before they happen, so that you can prevent them from happening. Once those issues are identified, they are being assigned to different experts so that they can be resolved well before the event happens. So by doing this, we are trying to prevent issues from happening during those peak days. All this is happening with the help of agentic AI and autonomous agents working in the background. It makes use of AI agents, which are autonomous agents working in the background, trying to figure out the problem. If they can also find the solution based on the past and the history, they will respond to the customers by themselves. So no human involved. We have agentic AI, which works in tandem, so multiple agents working in tandem. And last not the least, what Rohan mentioned, we have human in the loop as well. So in some cases where you can't rely completely on AI, you have human to verify the output of the AI before you implement the action plan. So this is the high-level architecture diagram behind this whole piece. So we have a customer risk repository, which talks about various kind of risks that can happen in the system when the load is extremely high. So for those 6 days, when the load is in multiples of 10x and 50x and 100x, these guys are trying to identify the kind of risk that can happen. So we can have business risk, which depends on the event, which is the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday, where the volumes are extremely high. Or it can also be the technical risk, depending on the solution that you implemented. So how your system is behaving, what are the alerts coming into your system? Do you see any kind of a bottleneck? Do you see any problem with your tenant? So the agent which are working in the back end, monitoring this system, they will generate customer-specific alerts. These alerts are then taken care by the agents and classified if it can be resolved by itself or it needs a human intervention. If it requires a human intervention, it is assigned to the experts, or we also create some proactive cases for the customer to act on these issues. So in many cases, the customer needs to adjust something. So all this is happening automatically without much human intervention. Once that is done, the agents or the people decide what action to take in order to mitigate those risks before they happen. So this is what we have been doing for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday since last year. If you can see, we have a customer tenants. We do this 6 to 8 weeks prior to the event. So we keep running this framework on all customer tenant who have signed up for this Black Friday Cyber Monday event. We generate the risk report. We classify that report, assign it to the experts or to the customers, and keep doing that multiple times till all the issues are resolved, so that during the event, you have a seamless experience for your customers. There are some numbers from the last time, and we can see the kind of scale that we operate at. So last year, there were 143 customers from 27 industries across 57 countries who signed up for this event. There was a transaction of approximately 10 million plus orders during those 4 days or 5 days. GMV transaction was around 12 billion USD plus, and we had a zero downtime, zero degradation. All this is happening today. All this is live and being used. So this is not a vision. This is not the future. This is happening today in every commerce customer system. Moving on, I'll show you some more features that are not a part of this, but are already being provided to our customers so that they can have a seamless experience. Rohan mentioned about empowered support. So there are some capabilities that we offer to our customers so that they are empowered to find their own solutions. They don't need to come to SAP for every time. If they have a problem, they are enabled and empowered to find their own solutions. So for example, if you see here generative AI search, SAP is extremely rich with customer data. We have so much of information about the customer, their environment, their past history. So we have something called generative search. You encounter a problem, you start searching for a solution, and it will navigate through all the information that we have in our repository and help you find a solution for yourself. So it will start listing down all the solution in terms of priority, and you can pick up the best which is suiting your problem. You don't need to come to SAP for that. Second, based on what's happening in our system, because we run your systems, we provide live recommendation in your portal, in the customer portal. And you can make use of those recommendations to apply to your system and prevent any further escalation. So you know which problem applies to you, and there is a recommendation available for you to apply that before it becomes an escalation. We provide automatic translation in 10 different languages, AI-generated translation. So you can read SAP notes or SAP knowledge base article in your language, which makes it extremely friendly and inclusive for any language. Earlier, this was a barrier because we were providing mostly in English, but now with the help of GenAI, you can do translations in 10 different languages. Last but not the least, we provide an extremely rich customer insight dashboard where customers can find all information about all SAP systems, about how they're consuming it, about how the license is being consumed, what kind of deployment they have, what kind of issues they have, and how the history has been. These dashboards are extremely rich. They are customizable, so you can filter it out. You can see the data at the tenant level, at the subsidiary level, at the corporate level. So you don't need to come to us to ask how you are doing with respect to the SAP system. People have extremely good feedback on this, and customers are using it very often. So this is a view of a customized view of a customer insight dashboard. Moving on, we have something called assisted support. We also call it accelerated support. The idea here is when everything fails, so the invisible support did not work or it worked, but then you are trying to use the empowered support, where you try to find your own solutions. In case you cannot find your own solutions, then you have to come to SAP. When you come to SAP, idea is to make your life so easy that you don't have to spend effort in trying to find out how to reach out to SAP, how to describe your problem, how to find the right product, how to find the right category. We help you with the help of AI in an app called Get Support app. So there is something called AI-powered Get Support app. In this app, when you encounter a problem, we are already publishing a list of hot topics or hot content. And if you see that applies to any of your existing problems, you can already subscribe to it and you will continue to get the notifications about that topic. Yeah? There is a critical issue pop-up. If there is any critical issue running in any of SAP's product, you can look at that. If it applies to you, you can subscribe to it. So we are reaching out to you even before you reach out to us. There is something called incident solution matching. So you have a problem. You are trying to create a ticket for us. Based on our history, there is so much of data with SAP that we try to find an incident which maps to a past historical incident. So you know this problem has happened and we have a solution available for this. So it tries to give you that incident solution mapping. And if you see some numbers around, this shows how the performance has improved with the customers who are trying to create incident for us. This is the data for the last 3 years. And if you see there's a 2.7x improvement in customers finding solutions to their incident even before it comes to SAP. Then when you are trying to create a ticket for SAP, what we do is, since we know your environment, we know which product you are using, we know your context, we help you with creating the ticket in the right product. So you don't need to say, I am in supply chain, I am in CX, I am in some other product. So we help you determine that. We also help you determine the next level, which is the product function, that which part of that product has a problem. So otherwise you need to search for that. And not everybody is an expert to find the product function. So we are making your life easy so that you create a ticket seamlessly with minimal effort. Then we talk about channel recommender. So once you have identified the product, you have the product function, we also tell you which is the best channel for you to get support. So should you create the case which comes to us and then we provide you the resolution, or you can go to real-time support channels so you can chat with an expert online and get a solution, or we direct you to SAP communities. So all this is suggested based on your context, based on your environment, determined by AI. These are some of the multiple use cases which are already live today. This will fit into one of those 3 categories that we spoke about: invisible support, empowered support, assisted support, which we also call accelerated support. Some of them I spoke about it, but there are many, many more use cases which are live. The idea is to make the life of our customer much, much easier, to provide a seamless experience to our customers and they can provide it to their customers. The idea is to reduce the effort which you put in to get a solution from SAP. Last but not the least, this is a little more insight into the invisible support that we were talking about. If you see, there are so many agents working in each part of this whole process. There is a case life cycle since the time a customer creates a case to the time it comes to us. And all these agents work in tandem to provide you a perfect solution. So many of these agents, what we do is when it comes inside, a case comes to SAP, these agents will decide and categorize the case based on the complexity, based on the context, based on the history, where it should belong to. If it's only a how-to question, the agent will take care of answering that question itself. It doesn't even involve a human. If it requires a human expert, it will be directed to the human expert. And if it's resolved by even the agent, it depends what kind of a problem it is. Is it a how-to? It will send you a knowledge base article. It will direct you to the documentation, or it will involve a human being to verify the authenticity of the solution. Right? In other cases, it will decide if it should go to human itself to bring in the right expertise. It will also tell you which team it should go to help you find the right expert, so that you don't have to struggle to find the right team, the right expert, and to get a timely solution for your problems. So all this is live today, happening in the backup, behind the scenes, which you don't realize. The idea is to provide you absolutely seamless experience, faster solution with the right expert in time. So that's a high-level overview of how we try to manage 100% uptime for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday customers with zero degradation over the period of next 6 days, which is starting tomorrow. Any questions for us?
Do we have any questions in the audience? Was it perfectly clear? Amazing. Otherwise, where can we find you on
Yeah, we'll be at T6.
T6?
So just behind the CEO stage.
Amazing.
Perfect. Yeah,
There
thanks
is
for your
a
time. We got
live
loads of
demo.
information and we're willing to share. We want to share stories. So please do come along and we'd love to learn from you as well.
There's a live demo of this whole thing that I spoke about. So you can go and see that at T6. It's a very extensive demo, and you can see some of those agents, how they're working, how the analysis is happening. So end-to-end piece is there at T6. Please go there if you are interested in having a look at the demo.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can applause.